See, this is the get method we have done already. Now let's go to the create a post API feature file. So create a new file. So new file. If you don't find here, and you can just click on other. So there you can find file, search for file. So we'll get file and give the file name. Request post API dot feature. So click on finish. Okay. Same thing you can copy from our blog. Okay. So not required much on the. So this one. This is same. We already practiced them. Same way you can just do that. Post API. This is the post API. See that feature request post API feature scenario, and let's write this. So even I am doing a data driven also. I'm creating multiple users also with this. So I'm just see, I can use the same. See, first scenario request post API to create a user. Post API to create users. That's a difference you can observe. Given provide valid endpoint to create user. Provide valid endpoint to create users. So little bit of difference is there. So when the request is used, send the server with the request body. So that means I'm giving a request body. Then validate create user response status code 201 and validate the response body fields. Whatever the request body you are giving, same is there in the response body or not, you validate. So that's the another thing. One thing we have to see this. So next we have to automate it. No data driven test. Multiple users if you want to create, you give. So given provide a valid endpoint to create users, and then create send the request. When the request is sent to the server with request body as a name, one parameter, job another parameter. Then validate create user response status code 201 and validate the response body fields. Right. So these are the things we are. We need to do validation of all these things. So let's go and you already know this, how to do that, right? So you take this complete scenario and do the first create a step definition file. So you can give same name, step definition file name, post API test or something, right? So just give that. Create a new Java class. Post API test. Click on finish. And you extend this to test base class. So extend this to test base class. The same way how we did for the get API, right? Get API. So as I mentioned very clearly, here you take this this post scenario steps and generate the Gherkin code. So this copy this and put it in the TD Gherkin tool, and it will give you the Gherkin steps. It will give. So this is the Gherkin steps. So copy paste this Gherkin steps. So simple. You don't need to struggle also. So just put that here. So import this given. So io.cucumber.java.en. So when cucumber.when, then so this then also belongs to same. Put it then instead of and. So these are all things you remove. So declare so all the response body fields and all. If you want response outside, multiple methods, I need to use response, right? You can declare response outside, right? You can even declare, so JSON object also one variable outside, that also we have to use. So let me declare first, response. So response object rest equal to, maybe you can just, if you leave the object empty, it's a null, it will be there, right? It will be null. IO.RestAssured.response. You have to take IO.RestAssured.response. Don't take other packages. Okay. Now, even JSON object also one more, right? JSON object from JSON package. We added a JSON package. You remember one dependency JSON we added that. So use JSON object. So you declare this globally. Globally, you create this variable JSON object equal to new JSON object. So new JSON object, you declare it. So, but this one you have to import from org.json. Org.json you have to import. Initially, valid input you have to give this, right? This is the common step we are doing, right? Set the base URI first. Set the base URI. We can set RestAssured dot base URI equal to read property method and give the base URL. Same, set the base path. Set the service URL path. Service URL path. So we can do RestAssured dot base path equal to, so get all user endpoint only, right? The same for the this also. So this one, if you see this one only for get user endpoint. This one only for you can use for the so this post method, right? Post method, you can see API users only. So that's what we are giving. Base URL after API users we are giving. Now this is a very important. You need to provide the JSON body, request body. You have to give a request body, right? So that's very important now. So we are supplying a request body for this. So let's see how to supply a request body. So I'm using a JSON object. The JSON object I'm using, and I'm going to supply. So prepare the request body. So what is the request body? Please observe here and there. What is the request body? You can see here, name and job. So this is the one I'm going to give. So with JSON object. This is the JSON object has a put method. So put method, what it will do? Put method, you have to give key value pair. The key is name. What is the name value? So you give whatever the value you want. So I'm not restricting. So you give whatever the value you want. Same way, JSON obj dot put method. So you give the key is a job and the value you can give anything. Okay. So automation test lead, right? So this is the value you can give. So I have done only two parameters, right? Name, job is there. This is the request body I prepared. Now let's move on to the, so you hit that. Now you hit that. You will get a response output basically. So RestAssured dot given. So given method you are giving. So then So you know already accept headers, all this, right? Let me go and copy from this. So this so here the header spot. Here I am going to give this entire thing. I'm going to copy. So I'll tell you the where you are giving our body, and you can ask, right? So what I copied from header only. From header only I copied, so I can give this. Okay, header is done. But there is a one more in the when keyword before. You should do. Let me put inside this one, so that you will also get it. Let me. So here one more dot body is there. Dot body is there. Can you see here? This is the request body. So this is the request body you can supply. See, there is a file, you can give the file also. You can give input stream body also. You can give object also. You can give string body also. You can give. So this map I'm going to convert into toString format. So let's take this. I'm taking this. JSON object dot. This is the body, request body, how I am supplying. These are the kind of questions you will get. Please remember this. Get method inside headers, request body, query parameters also we have given yesterday. How you will pass query parameters, they will ask you in the interview. So please, careful all this methods. ToString method is there. See, it will convert into JSON object. After that, when method. See, when method. So, but what is the method we need to use? Get method or post method? What is the method we have to use?
Post.
So there is a post method. After post method, then method, then the content type. If you want, you can take the content type. Always not required. So and extract this response. See, all in the single line. You can keep it. So this method is returning the response output. So that I stored in the response body. So you are hitting. So this when method will go and hit the post method. Will go and hit the post method. So maybe I'll just put here this, and I'll put here this one. So one step ahead. So this one also you can put one step back. So this one step back you can put. So these are all belongs to one, and this post belongs to when, and these are all belongs to these are all belongs to then. You are getting right? Given, when, then. Given is a preconditions. When is a action step, post action. Then is a post validation. Right? This is the how you can so create all your validation in that. Now we need to add the validation. Let's go and validate that validations. So how first get the response status code, okay? Fetch the response status code. So how can you get response status code? Already we know this, we already done for the so many things. RESTful.get status code. You got it? And so even if you want, you can get the session ID, status line also you can get a status line. Let me show you what is the status line. You can print this response status code if you want. Response time also you can get. Response status code is so RESTful code. Even you can get the session ID also. Let's get the session ID directly. I'll print. Okay. So session ID is, you can get the session ID also. So who will get that? Plus RESTful dot get session ID. You can see get session ID. So even you can get the status line. So what is status line, sir? We didn't understand. You can see this status line means this one. 201 created, right? So this is the complete status line that you will get it here. So get the status line, response status line. Everything object dot status line. Sorry. So get status line. Getter methods basically. See, get content type. You can get the content type, response content type. What is that? Get headers. You can get the headers also. Get session ID, get status line. You can see all the getter methods. Even you can get the time also. How much time it has taken to execute. Even you can get the time. So response time. These are all very useful. Response time is, you can get the response time. Resp dot get time. Resp dot get time. So you can see get time. So you will get all this. And finally, I want to validate, quickly validate, and we can close it. Assertions dot assert equals So how we can do? So because it is you are getting from the data tables you can use, right? With data table, this because you can see here post. This is a data table concept, right? This is a data table you kept in the step below. Step below you are giving your data. That's a data table concept. So you have to write a data table here. You have to write a data table. Am I right or not? So data table we have to write. So how to write this data table? So let's write the data table. So data table. So table. So data table you import io.cucumber.data tables. So TBL is enough. Now here we need to give directly the TBL dot. I can use as list method. Only one, right? As list dot list dot get of 0. First one 0. So I'm getting. So I got it directly. Instead again, I'm not writing list all these things. But this is a string, right? This is a string. How can you convert the string into integer? But here you are giving this response code is a integer. But this one, if you give a string, what will happen? You'll get an exception, right? You'll get an exception because this is a string. How can you convert the string into integer? Integer wrapper class dot parseInt. Let's do that. PARSEInt TBL dot. So this one and end the bracket here. That's it. Simple. Again, you don't need to write one more line. So list of string some value equal to this data table dot as list method. You don't need to write. I'm writing here itself. BL dot as list dot get of 0. So that will give you 201. And here also 201 you will get, it will pass. So done. Next. So you validate the fields. You have to validate the response body fields, right? These are the fields. Name, job, ID created. So whatever the name you are giving, it should be here. Whatever the job you are giving, that should be here. So you have to validate that. So how you can validate? So fetch the response body parameter values. String name value. String name value equal to resp dot path. What is the path? So the path is a straight, right? What is the path? You can see here. straight path. There is no much, directly name only. See this object inside direct name. There is no name also for this JSON object. Directly name. So give the name. You will get the name. If you want, you can print that value. And you can print the name value. Response body name parameter. Response body name value. You should get the same as a input. That's the main concept. You should not get it. This is how they will ask. These are the questions they will ask. How do you validate whatever the input you have given? Same is there in the response body. You tell this code. This code you have to tell. Response dot path, and you give the parameter name. So I will get the value response body value, and then I will compare. So what is the input, and I'll compare. So right, that's how we can do that. So JSON object dot get, and this one. So this is the deserialization we call this. So deserialization we call this. How you can assert? Let me show you assertions. So input data, how you will get it? Let me show you. Why I made a global JSON object is because of this one only. Because of this one only. Assertions dot assert equals. How I'm going to use input data? How I will get the input data? So input data you have given here. Here you have given, but how you will get? This will store in the JSON object, right? JSON object inside it is there. That I'm going to get that value. Okay, now how can I get that? This is the main concepts you need to get, guys. Please understand. Get the give the parameter name. So that value you are getting here and comparing with this name value. The output response body, what is there, you are comparing. This is the called deserialization. This is you can tell where you have used serialization and deserialization means you can tell these points. These are all points very, very useful for you. You're deserializing the input data you are getting with the JSON object dot get method and value parameter name you are giving. You will get the value here. That value and this value response body value are compared. How good it is. Same you do path variable also. So same you implement. Same you implement. I'll just change here job. That's it. Here you give job and this job. Right? Done. So validations are completely done. So now we can execute. You can see that. So whether the test case are passed or not, you can see that also. So Maven clean, Maven build, you can do that. Not necessary every time, right? So Maven build you can do, and you can put a clean install. So apply and run it. So all the files it will take, all the feature files it will do, but we didn't implement one more scenario, right? It will complain. It will complain. Second scenario not done. See, it got failed. Why it got failed? You can see that. I want to show you this also. So anyhow, good. This scenario also I'm covering here. See, you didn't implement completely, right? See, you implemented only one scenario. Implemented, right? This scenario, only first scenario implemented. This one only implemented, but this one you didn't implement. So that's what they're complaining here. You can see. This is the one you see it is giving. very clearly giving here. The error, the step provide valid endpoint to create users, and one other steps are undefined. You can implement these steps using snippets below. The same code, you can copy paste this. You don't need to go again TD Gherkin, because they are given already Gherkin code. Gherkin code they are given. So you can go and do that same. Right? And this is how you can get this given, when, then. So that's what, if you are not implementing these steps, any steps in the feature file not implemented, it will complain. You have to finish the implementation. Implementation where we can give in the step definitions. Step definitions will give. That is missing for this, and that's why it is complaining. So do that, and so I'll implement this. So I'll go to 3D. Otherwise, you can copy from there. Not required again here. So I can copy from there also. So you can copy paste this one. Same thing. You can copy paste. So same thing you can see here, given when, then is where didn't you give, given when, then you should give, they should give you, see, undefined step exception you are getting. What is the exception you are getting? Undefined step exception you are getting. Undefined step exception you are getting. Undefined step exception. So undefined step exception you are getting. So that's why you must implement. If you're not implementing, it won't work. See, the parameter value is coming, Ramesh, CH, automation test state. That we have given in the here. So let me implement this also. And quickly we can finish. We'll run. So I'm doing provide valid endpoint to create users. To create users, I'm saying. So the same thing you can use, copy paste from the top. So this one, right? This one you can copy paste. So let's close this. So given, so done. And when the request is sent to the server with request, but see, these are the parameters. You have to give parameters, right? You have to give parameters, right? So those parameters, what is the parameters? 2 parameters, right? What are the 2 parameters? One is a name, another one is a job. So you don't have 4. Because it is taking 4 because you're doing a data driven, that's it. String name, string job. That's it. That string name, string job, you can supply it as a parameter. See, now I'm going to give the same JSON obj.put method. So first name, I'm going to give name equal to here the parameter name. What is the parameter name? So name. So same way, JSON object dot. Sir, why you are giving here the name parameter? This value you are getting from where? From this table. You remember, from this table we are getting that output. This input you are getting from there. So that's why I'm not hard coding that. But the first one I hard code because I told you I'm going to give input. But this one already given in the feature file. From feature file you are getting here. Please catch this job. The difference between first one and this one. Why I'm not giving here the value? So please understand. Because this is a parameterization, right? So I should not hard code. Parameterization means first iteration, whatever the name value you have given here, Morpheus will take, and whatever the job value given, job value will take. Okay, so, and Ramesh H, automation test lead. But I'll change this. If you want, you can change this a different value. If you want, you can give, not a problem. And then same concept, request body, this one, this code as it is, you write it, this. Everything you can pass it as it is. These all reusable methods will prepare. So you won't repeat the same thing. So you will write the same thing. This is the one. You will do that. Everything same code, no change. Okay, so that's the one thing. And again, request body and everything is similar because it's already there. That's why you don't need these things. So status code, you're doing the same validation fields. So already we implemented. That's why we didn't do even our program also. It didn't complain about only these two. It was complaining, but the remaining fields, these validation, these two steps are common here also. That's why it didn't complain. Only given when only it complained. You didn't implement this given when it was complaining because the step is different than above steps. Now you run this. It won't complain now. So Maven build. Okay, Maven build it took automatically. See, it is going to complete it. That's how fast it is. API testing is very, very fast. Otherwise, now your UAT testing you compare, you know how much time only browser itself it will take a lot of time, right? But this one, see how quickly your browser opening time itself, this is completing all the test cases. How many test cases total? We have so many test cases, right? Get three or four get method. The output you got it. You got the total 8 passed, 8 test cases are there. See, this is the get method one. Right? This is the get method. And this is the post method one. This is the post request. See, this is the one. All are passed. How fast it is. That's why API testing is very, very fast. So that's a post method. I'll separate all this, one by one. So post method we are done.